lights on. Game on. We're good.
Okay, we're on.
We're back.
All right, so at this point in time, I believe.
We can make a motion to come out of executive.
Okay, make the motion to come out of executive session.
Second.
All right, all in favor? Now.
Are we going to go out of order?
If you like. We can do appointments. Order 2018-275, Planning Board appointment, associate member, 1 seat to 6/30/2021.
I make the motion to appoint Sean Carr as an associate member on the planning board.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
6-0, order passed.
Mr. Carr, welcome. Thank you.
Do you want to take the next one out of order as well?
Might as well, yep.
Order 2018-276, the Conservation Commission member, 1 seat to 6/30/2020, and we have 2 seats to 6/30/2018. But if you're filling one, you might choose the one 2020.
Okay. I make a motion to appoint Savannah Haggerty to the regular seat for Conservation Commission for the one ending June 30th, 2020.
Second.
Is that Haggerty, probably?
Haggerty.
No, it's Haggerty.
Oh, H-A.
Haggerthy.
Thank you. And all those in favor? 6-0, order passed.
Twyla, on the two that end 6/30/2018, could those be reappointments, or are they just straight out vacancies?
We asked, and we didn't get.
So we still have 2 actual vacant seats on that. Okay.
Yes.
That's what I wasn't sure of.
Yeah.
All right, next item.
Audience participation and response for agenda items.
This time, anybody in the audience who has anything that they want to say, please step to the podium. Anyone? Okay, next item.
Is a consent agenda. Any counselor wishing to have any item removed may do so now. Seeing none, order 2018-260 to approve the municipal accounts payable and payroll warrants. Number 1207-2018 for $14,940.61. Number 1213-2018 for $5,938.75. 1218-2018 for $250,939.60. Number 42 for $170,637.78. Number 43 for $18,196.74. School account payable and payroll warrants. Number 1029 for $348,275.46. Number 1030 for $11,274.01. Number 1031 for $54,461.48. Number 1032 for $369,430.91. Number 14 for $2,853.71. And number 1906 for $293,208.27. The minutes of November 13 and December 4, plus the renewal automobile graveyard permits for Campbell's Used Auto Parts, and a renewal automobile graveyard permit for Houston's Auto Salvage, and to set a public hearing for a vitrilized license for the Rusty Lantern for January 15th, and to approve the municipal county agreement for PSAP and dispatch services.
Need a motion?
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Order passed, 6-0.
Doing good. Nate LeClaire, Fire Chief. This is basically to ask permission to go out to bid for the hydraulic extrication equipment that was approved in the budget through the undesignated funds. We're looking at a hydraulic cutter and a hydraulic spreader that we need to go out to bid for because it's going to be well over $10,000 to purchase the equipment.
I think in the packet, it was $18,000.
That's what we have in the line.
Yep. Oh, you think it's going to be a little bit lower than that?
I'm not really sure because
Okay.
these numbers were achieved and gotten during the budget process, so who knows what's happened in the industry as far as price increases.
Well, I
But,
guess we'll find out if it comes in higher, right?
Right. Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah, but I do think that we try to go to plan for the price increases,
Of course.
so I'm hoping we're going to be in that ballpark.
Mr. Chair, may I?
Absolutely.
Could you give us a little more information on, do we actually have equipment on either side of town? Is this replacing equipment that's 10 years old?
This is replacing equipment out of Lisbon Fall Station.
Okay.
The hydraulic equipment we have now is over 10 years old, and what we ran into is, you wouldn't think this, but they're falling into corporate America where the companies aren't supporting the product anymore. So if we're looking at a failure in the equipment, we're going to be stuck having to buy equipment on emergency purchase. So we're trying to get ahead of the game and replace equipment while we have the opportunity to do so before it does fail.
So you said industry. Are there any manufacturers that stand behind their product? You don't have to worry about them going away in 10 years? Just curious.
It's the vendors. The vendors are still there, but they're changing their products, so they're not supporting it to get you to buy more product.
So my question then is this, that if the manufacturer of this product is good, but they don't have a local dealer to us, the one that we purchased from, two things. Obviously, if a vendor's going away from a particular brand, that's their choice. They got to make a living.
Well, it's the manufacturer, and I'll use a particular brand. Like the Jaws of Life is made by Hearst.
Yep.
That's just one brand. We don't use them. That's just one brand.
Right.
The models that we have, they're not supporting anymore. So if that model breaks, they're not going to repair it.
Is there anybody other than them, local, that?
Yeah, we have 5 different brands that are represented locally that we can tap into. So that's why we're putting out. I'm sure I'm going to get pricing from all 5 different vendors.
Yeah, I'm just thinking, and I'm sure you'll do your due diligence, but let's just make sure that we're kind of looking at somebody who's going to probably has a consistent track record with a particular brand that we're going to invest money in.
Now,
The brand we're using right now, we've been using for the last 30 years. So it's just, right now we're also looking at due diligence because there's other brands out there now.
Okay. Thank you.
now, is there equipment in Lisbon also, or is it just
No, there
Lisbon?
is not
Just
currently
on our
any
rescue?
equipment. It's on Rescue 10 right now.
Yep. I noticed, I was reading an article a while back, they actually have some of the new electric battery-powered equipment out versus the hydraulics with all the
That's
lines and stuff.
actually what we're looking at.
Yeah, it's kind of neat stuff, new
It will
technology.
eliminate the need for the hydraulic pumps, hydraulic hoses, and going with the electric battery-powered ones.
Yeah,
So
it's
cost
interesting.
saving. Am I hearing that?
Right. I mean, the actual unit itself might cost more, but in the big picture, you have less hoses, less machine and working parts. So
Fewer
big
things to break.
package deal, it's probably cheaper.
It's neat stuff.
Mr. Chair,
Absolutely.
what's the plan for this equipment once you get it replaced? Is it going to stay within the fleet, move to another application, or is it going to be salvaged, or what are we doing with it?
The stuff that we're replacing,
Yep.
I've been told that it's the cutter and spreader that we're replacing. I don't like keeping things replaced. I don't think it sends a good message to our taxpayers.
Right.
It'll be coming out of service or traded in.
Okay, so Auction International or something of that nature, or within another fire unit?
Yeah.
Do we have discretion to be able to donate to another community that could potentially use it if we can't? Is that something that falls under that? Okay, so you would bring us a recommendation on what we would do with the existing as well?
Yep.
Thank you.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Order passed 6-0.
Thank you, Chief.
Thank you.
Next item?
Order 2018-267, the School Capital Reserve Expenditure.
Hey, Alan.
Good evening, everybody. Seems like every time I see you guys, I'm asking for money.
Yeah,
So
I don't
this is-
think we don't know that.
This time around, we're going to show you exactly what.
Hey, don't take it personal. I tell you to stop coming.
I'll you some pictures of the last what we just recently did.
I got you. Here you go. Thanks, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
That's the result of the last capital reserve usage. The playground that's at Gartley Street. The students are using it daily. There's nothing but smiles out there. It gives these kids something to do. It's safe. So this is, a thank you from
They
school
put the
department.
swings in the same place as the old ones were?
Correct. We took the swings down. We've got probably 18 inches of wood chips there for safety. So it's impressive. I still have one set of swings up that I took the swings down. We're going to get rid of those, and there'll be another phase. We'll do something there.
Great. Looks nice.
Thank you. So now I am here tonight seeking authorization from the town council to utilize an amount not to exceed $56,000 from Lisbon School Department's Capital Reserve Fund to pay for the update of the phone system at Lisbon Community School. Attached, you'll see a copy of the quote from CTI Communication Technologies. I believe everybody has received the information and we're just seeking approval from you folks to proceed.
Are we operating on, right now at LCS, they're using the same phone system that was implemented when the school opened? Is that my understanding?
You are correct.
Thank you.
What we're trying to do is we're trying to make all the schools under the same system. LCS is the last school that's not under this system here.
Tell me some of the challenges that you face because it's not on the grid as the other ones.
To be honest with you, I'm just presenting.
Okay, no, that's fine.
Yeah, I don't want to sit here and
No, okay,
things up.
that's fine. So let me back that up then.
Yes.
So you're saying that the other two schools currently are on a newer system?
Yes, sir.
And LCS is the last one to get replaced?
You are correct.
My understanding there was some general hardships. I was hoping we can nail down what those were as far as communications-wise. I know that there was a couple of things mentioned, but I was just looking for detail on that.
Yeah,
If you don't have that right now, that's fine, I understand.
I do not have that.
I think you'll find, Chair, that the sitting on the facilities committee on this, just technology has changed drastically since the school's been put in service.
Very much so. And
04?
yes, sir.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay, so 14 years in, almost 15.
Which is a long time
Yeah,
technically.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Safe bet. When's the target date to do this, over the summer?
Yes, that's what we're hoping to get done this summer.
Okay. Anybody have any other questions? Yeah.
This was still on the capital improvement plan from the school, right?
Yes, sir.
So it was this year, so it'll be something that's not out of the ask outside. It was already planned to be, it's just where it's
This is
sitting
something
now.
we've been approaching, yes.
Any other questions, anyone?
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Thank you.
Order pass 6-0.
Next item?
We were thinking that you might want to take up Order 2018-269 out of order and discuss the January council meetings prior to determining a workshop,
That's fine.
if that's of any
That's
advantage.
okay. Yeah, let's do that.
No objections? Okay. Order 2018-269, the January council meetings.
So my understanding is since the first Tuesday is the 1st of January, we're looking at, if we want to go ahead and still schedule 2 meetings or just go with the one for the month of January. Speaking with the town manager, she identified a possible good midway point would be the 15th. But obviously, this is the time where you guys want to jump in and decide if we want to do 2 or 1. And I'll open up the floor, whoever wants to.
15th sounds good.
If you decide on one and something should come up in between, we can always schedule another meeting
For
because
the
there are
22nd or
5.
the 29th?
Right.
So,
When are we going to
Chair,
start
may I-
budget
Yeah.
workshops?
Those won't be until March and April.
Mr. Chairman?
Absolutely.
We had actually talked about doing some workshops, other than the idea of potentially this one, as far as for just goal setting and stuff. So, I mean, is it, instead of, in lieu of actually doing 2 meetings, could we actually plan on doing a workshop, or is it just the idea of 5 weeks in the month that to me, we should take advantage of those before we get into budget season, because once we get there, we'll be pretty busy.
I couldn't agree more. I'm fine with a workshop somewhere along the line. It doesn't have to be on that. Let's say we pick the 15th as our meeting for council, and then any of those weeks that follow, either before or after, we can pick a workshop date. It can be anywhere, Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday, whatever works best for everybody.
What are we wanting to do a workshop on?
There was some talk earlier
ATV.
about us getting together and preparing for the budget season, but also going over some other things, goals for 2019, maybe streamlining that and prioritizing based on what we all come up with. We'll cover a couple of them tonight, but I think, we all have ideas of what we want to see happen in 19. It doesn't have to be a long session. Just keep in mind, and we can start at 6 rather than 7, and all get home in a reasonable hour. But let's try to put these, whether it's goals or something else that we come up with. But I'll listen to whatever you guys want to say. I mean, if you think that one meeting is good for January, I can get on board with that too.
On the other item with the ATV, what exactly were we planning to accomplish with a workshop?
Roger
That
Bickford
topic.
came in to meet with me, and he said he'd like to meet with council in a workshop. He's got some ideas on the ATV road access. I don't know what they are. He wants to have a workshop on it. And as you know, the ordinance says that we would meet once before it starts up again in May to go over any changes or make any changes if we had to. But I don't know what his ideas are, but he did want to meet in a workshop.
Can you please ask
Yeah.
Mr. Bickford to try to summarize that? Because I'd really prefer not to fill the house with all the AT folks and you get both sides of the issue and you just excite everybody after we got that issue resolved last year.
Yeah,
Okay.
Please bring us an idea of what he's looking at accomplishing
Right.
to know
Yeah.
before we go through a full-blown workshop.
And I think that would
Yeah.
be better to determine whether it just be on an agenda or a workshop.
Right.
I think what
I
he's
mean,
trying to
even-
do is identify some more roads for ATV access, but I don't know what they are.
Yeah, and that's, again, the fact is we went through that whole process last year to be able to come to it.
Okay.
We had some negative start before it got started in the May timeframe that worked itself out because of a glorified misunderstanding. I just rather we not go down that road again and try to learn from what didn't work 100% correct the first time. That would be my thought.
We've got time before May too, so
Yeah.
I can let you know what that is on the 15th.
That would be great.
And you can set it.
Yeah, I think that would probably be better. That way we can, I mean, I'm sure Roger's not going to bring anything to us that doesn't make any sense, but at the same time, we can't just go off of, he's got some good ideas.
Right. Well, and like I
Right.
said, I mean, it could
Yeah.
be small enough where it just goes on an agenda and we don't have to waste.
Right. Even if you send him Norman's direction and he respects the chair, just let Norm vet it to see if it's something that's big enough to
Yep,
be able
it's
to go
fine.
that route. You know what I mean?
It doesn't have to be anything fancy, just give us an outline of
And
what
I
it
know
is he
that-
had in mind. That's it.
I'm just knowing my audience with Roger too. He's going to have it easy enough to feel comfortable to have a conversation. The fact is, that's what he's
Yep.
looking for.
You can do that.
Thank you. Go back to the next item, or go in order.
Yeah, we're still on the same item,
Did
right?
you make
Right.
a
We
decision?
never get anyone.
No, we haven't.
I think they're just trying to get out of order.
Yeah.
That's all they're doing. They want me to straighten them out.
I say one meeting January 15th.
Okay, so we got.
I
we
make
got
a
the one
motion.
And if we want to do anything associated with workshop for goals, I would propose to do it at 6 o'clock and roll one into the other.
So
All
let's
in
do
one
that now. It's kind of, let's put them both together versus.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's just figure it out. So if we want to do a workshop, let's look at the calendar and everybody pick a date that works fine for them in January.
So I think
Didn't
what
you just say
Al,
what Al had said? I was going to say.
I didn't.
He said the 15th, let's start at 6 o'clock, and you can have an hour workshop right there, bam.
Okay,
And
that's
if
fine.
something else comes up
You
in the
wanna
month
plug
of
it all
January,
in?
Right.
and if
Why not?
something comes up after the 15th of January, we could have another meeting either on the 22nd or the 29th.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too, right there. I was actually looking at 22nd rather than, but it's fine. So we'll do the 15th
Am I
with
correct?
the hour workshop in the front of it.
Are you saying like rather than do the 15th, do the 22nd?
Nope, we're gonna do it. We're gonna do it Alan's way. I like it better, even though I think that if we run into something along on the workshop,
And if we run into something there, we
Right.
already have 2 more Tuesdays,
Push it
I got
down.
another 2 weeks to do,
yeah, that's
follow something, and the rest of us will show up.
perfectly fine. The benefit of having 5 weeks, right?
That's it.
So Cassie's motion was for the 15th for the meeting, so that would encompass the workshop as well. So need a second?
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Order passed, 6-0.
Thank you.
So we took up those two.
Yep.
And the next item is Order 2018-270, the NIMS resolution.
As a condition of receiving federal preparedness funds, beginning in 2005, that's when we had to adopt the National Incident Management System. And back sometime between 2006 and 2008, all the communities, all the counties had to adopt this resolution. Now it's time to reaffirm the resolution that was adopted back then, and that's all you're doing tonight.
Okay. Anybody got any questions on this one?
Motion to accept the NIMS resolution.
Got the first. Who wants the second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Order passed, 6-0.
You
And we
Next-
have
I was
and
gonna-
we have one for you to sign as well.
Thank you.
Norman, you are going to draw back to workshop for that ATV ordinance?
Yeah, I think
You're going
that-
to address that, or did we
Yeah,
already?
I think we talked about it. We didn't really do anything with it, so we should go back to that and say we're going to just pull it off the
Excellent.
agenda and
Yep.
put it on a different date based
Yep.
on that. So I think do we have to vote? I don't think we have to
No.
do that for pulling that item off, right? Yeah, that's, I didn't think so. But thank you, Chris, keeping us on task there. So, next item, please.
Order 2018-271, the Western Main Transportation Alternative Shopping Destination.
Western Main Transportation contacted me and wanted to know if Lisbon would support the idea of doing a stop like every other Tuesday or one Tuesday a month, instead of going to Walmart in Auburn, to go to Topsom, and they would go to the Topsom Fair Mall. Their driver polled all the riders, and they like that idea, to get down in that area to go shopping. And once they get there, if they want to go further, like to Cook's Corner, then they can pick up the Brunswick Explorer. So everybody wanted this change, but we wanted to get it sanctioned by council before we do it. And I know Dick Netto's in the audience, and he supports it as well.
Do you got anything you want to say, Mr. Netto?
Yeah, if I can speak.
If you don't mind coming up to the podium, letting everybody know who you are, that'd be awesome. Thank you.
My name is Richard Nettle, Lisbon Falls, Maine. I've lived here all my life. I'd like to speak a little bit on this. I was contacted on the bus by a bus driver. I won't go into personalities such as his name, but it would be, what we talked about is it would be like 1 week we would go to the Topsom Fair Mall, and the other week we would go to Auburn or Loyston, like Shaw's and or Walmart or Lowe's, and they came up with it at the Western Maine Transportation Systems, and they wanted us first to check with you, and each week, but then it came from the office to go to ask you guys, so that's why one reason I'm here. I told them that I would do this.
Okay.
Thank you.
Chairman.
No, absolutely.
Questions?
Absolutely.
Yeah, is there, and there's no financial difference as far as for us, as far as for what it costs us to service. And it doesn't take away from the ridership right now. The people that go the other direction, as far as for job-wise, this is a separate bus route just for shopping, not so much for.
Right, and then they pulled I assume you have the same riders pretty much.
Yes, we're also hoping to maybe build that up
I think
some.
we might even be able to pick up more once they see the Lisbon connector down in the Topsom way, because they don't go that far.
The trip to Auburn is probably longer than the trip to Topsom from the pickup point, so that's a benefit to the. But then the other side of that too, and I heard you say this is that Lisbon connection goes down to the Topsom location, then it could catch the Brunswick line.
Right, and Western Maine runs that as well.
So is there a plan then? If it's just once down and they're going to go back down and grab those folks, they choose to take the Brunswick bus back to Topsom.
They would have to work it out so that they came back. The Brunswick Explorer got them back to the Topsom Fair Mall.
Yeah,
so
I
that
figured they must have some route. I just wanted to understand that a little bit better. That's fine.
Yeah.
Thank you.
A little coordination there, right?
Yeah, right.
Mr. Chair? Is
Any
the
other
intent to actually
questions,
see
or-
testing ridership towards Thompson?
I think
What's the
we're
goal
all
for
set,
them?
Mr. Nato.
I think the intent is for more shopping options, and you know how they're trying to branch out and trying to get the Brunswick area and also the Bath area into the Route 196 corridor.
So they'd be looking at doing the promotion to be able to
think a good
gauge with the guy.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I think it's good.
Topsom Fair Mall does encompass a lot of different type of shopping.
It
so, I mean,
does.
so,
It
once
does,
you're there,
yeah.
you can do what you need to do.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Yeah, there's a possibility too where you're going to have 5 trains coming in, and some of them probably will end up with the Explorer coming up here to catch the train, or catch the train and go down, maybe pick us up and head down here in the Lisbon connection.
It's a good point. Thank you for coming out and giving your time.
Yeah, thanks.
All right, so make a motion.
Is that something we need to
so we
vote on
got-
as far as it?
Do
Yeah, why, it would be good if you would.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Order passed, 6-0.
Next item.
Ordinance 2018-272, an amendment to the emergency medical marijuana establishment.
Under section 10-611, and this is under the ventilation part, we had originally all medical marijuana establishments shall have an odor mitigation system, but it really only applies to cultivation, manufacturing, or extract of marijuana, not the retail store. So we want to make that clear.
Right.
That the intent wasn't to cover the retail stores unless they were going to cultivate in that same area or in that same building.
So it's an interesting topic, and I have something that came up that makes me just question this. And so if a retail store is in the front of the actual building that is where they're growing, cultivating, et cetera, how does that work?
They would have to have an odor mitigation system because they would have to have if they're cultivating or
So
manufacturing.
they would already have that in place. It wouldn't matter if there's a retail shop.
Right.
Good. That's
But if it's
fine
just
for me.
strictly retail and nothing else, you don't need that.
Yep. Perfect. Anybody else?
And that's just the emergency one that we're.
Yes, that's the emerge, so that we don't have to worry about it while the emergency one is in place. And we're also making that change in the permanent ordinance when we get to that.
Saw that.
Curiosity question, I guess, expanding that for the other ordinance that we were going to replace that with. Have you heard any feedback from council on changes that they were looking to do with that?
No, just Norm was the only one, but I have not heard back from anybody, other than you and Fern. You were all set with the way it was.
I was set with as written, right. That's where I was going in that regard, is if we put the deadline out there, I would actually say that you find a way to draw the line in the sand and move us forward rather than having that flounder.
Yeah, no.
So our next meeting is the 15th, right? No, it's not. Yeah, it is.
It is. 15th.
15th?
Yeah.
So let's have is that gonna, yeah, I mean.
That's when we're
choice.
that's when we want to have we want to have the first reading of the ordinance, the permanent ordinance tonight, and then the public hearing will be on the 15th with the second reading.
So is this considered the first reading? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, roll call is required.
Yeah. The emergency ordinance will take effect tonight with that change in it.
Right.
That's have an immediate effect, but the permanent.
To be able to close the loop.
Chair, I make a motion that we approve the amended.
Anybody second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
No, it's an ordinance.
Oh, that's right. Thank you. Roll call.
So you ready for a roll call vote? Counselor Albert.
Yes.
Counselor Crawford is not here. Counselor LaRochelle?
Yes.
Counselor Ward?
Yes.
Counselor Lunt?
Yes.
Counselor Brunel?
Yes.
And Counselor Colby?
Yes.
6 yeas, 0 nays, order passed. Ordinance passed.
Next item.
Ordinance 2018-273 to adopt the medical marijuana establishment ordinance. This is a first reading. A roll call vote is required.
After last discussion, I would actually make the motion.
Looking for a second?
I'll
Yes.
second.
She's got it.
Okay. All you, Twyla.
You ready for a roll call vote?
Yes, ma'am.
Counselor Albert?
Yes.
Counselor Colby?
Yes.
Counselor Brunel?
I'm not sure if I was supposed to abstain from the first one. I believe
you
I'm
should have abstained.
should have abstained from the first one, and I have to abstain from the second, this one reading as well.
Okay.
Lost my head for a moment.
Make a note. Counselor Lunt?
Yes.
And Counselor Ward?
Yes.
And Counselor LaRochelle?
Yes.
Okay, so 5 yeas, 1 abstention, and ordinance pass.
I was just getting excited.
Do we need to go? Do we
I'll
need to go
just
back
change
to the
the
first
other.
one?
They'll
Are
be
we
fine.
okay with that?
I will be all
Okay.
right.
I want to make sure of that. Okay, great.
Yep.
All right, next item.
Order 2018-274, a medical marijuana establishment license for the Lisbon Cannabis Company. We have an application on file.
Okay, so you guys want to make the motion so we can have the discussion?
I'll make the motion.
I'll second it for discussion.
Okay, so here we go. Let's discuss.
The as far as what we actually got on the licensing was pretty limited from the last thing as far as information. I guess, is everything completed as far as for the license?
No, it's not a complete license, so you have one or two things tonight. You can approve it contingent on final inspection from the code enforcement officer and the fire chief, or you can put it, do not act on it tonight and put it onto the next agenda.
Mr. Smith, would you mind coming to the podium? Thank you.
Just so to fill everyone in, we have an engineer who is designing the whole spot, who is bringing it to the state fire marshal, and it's going to be inspected. And we have a door on order. It just took 4 weeks instead of 2 weeks, which we thought. So it's supposed to be here on the 3rd of January.
Okay.
But they said it should be earlier than that. But we weren't planning on opening until after that fire marshal. At least we get the full application to the fire marshal, and they get either whatever they do. I'm not even sure.
So
I had to go to the fire marshal, to tell you the truth, until I got the engineer involved.
So from a timeline perspective, I heard you saying you're waiting on the door and hopefully it'll come in a little bit early.
Yep.
But those pieces need to be completed before the fire marshal will do the final walkthrough anyway.
Yes.
So if you were putting a timeline together with a worst possible case scenario, your door
First
shows up
possible,
on.
I'd say like the 1st of February. But that's, I mean, I would like it to be the 1st of the year. So I call the engineer every day.
Okay.
I can only push him so hard.
And
so.
the only reason I say that is, me personally, I don't want to speak for these guys, but I'm saying me personally, if there's no sense of urgency around that because you're kind of at the mercy of the materials coming in to complete, and I know you can definitely light them up, get the engineer going, But, and if something changes, certainly come back to us on the 15th and say, hey, we're in great shape now, I'd rather not wait.
Yep.
I'm inclined to hold off on issuing a license right now. And I know that's probably maybe not what you want to hear, but at the same time, I think it makes the most sense.
Okay.
That's just me. I'll leave it to the other folks to talk about what they think.
Mr. Chair?
Absolutely.
Did I hear, Diane, the fact that we could also make it conditional to be able to say that upon final inspection of the police and fire? I mean, I think that would be a fair common ground to be able to know that at least the inspection's done for everything he needed to be able to do, to be able to hold that up with potentially getting it before the January 15th, which would be the next opportunity we would act on it.
That would be great. So that way, if whatever date it may be, whether it's the 1st of January or the 15th of April, we wouldn't be able to open until that's signed off.
Yeah, as long as
Everybody else feel that way?
As long as we have the sign-offs, I would be okay with that.
I'm pretty flexible, so.
Thank you.
It's fine. So, safe bet to say then, we've got the first, we've got the second. All in favor?
Is this, this
Was it a
is-
roll? Is it a roll?
Roll
This
again.
would be a two-part motion. The first motion by Counselor Colby and seconded by Fern LaRochelle would move to approve the application. And this would be an amendment by Counselor Ward, seconded by, who was this?
I'll second it.
By Counselor Colby, to make it contingent upon final inspections of the fire chief and CEO. So an amendment vote, does that sound like what you intended?
Yes.
An amendment vote is ready?
May I ask-
So all those, yes.
May I ask one more question, Chair?
Absolutely.
Is that, are those the only two, I mean, are those only two requirements are missing from licensing? Everything else is fulfilled? I just say to have it written in there if there's anything else that.
Everything
Yeah,
else.
we've gone
Everything
over
else
it,
is-
and gone over it, and gone over it, and
Yeah.
every
Gone
time
over it.
something
Yeah,
new comes
just
up.
wanted to make sure that we don't miss anything and
Thank you.
mess you up and have to get you come back, that's all, so. Sorry.
Okay.
So the amendment vote, all those in favor of the amendment? Is 5, and all those opposed, and all those abstained. Okay, amendment carries. And the main motion as amended, the vote, all those in favor? And all those opposed, and all those abstained. And that carries.
I'm getting the engineer.
Keep
done
making
tomorrow,
phone calls.
guys.
Thanks for
Yeah,
coming
we'll
up.
try. We'll see what happens. Thanks.
Thank you.
Well, I'm all set, right?
Yep,
All
you
right.
are.
Thank you. See you later.
All right, next item.
Other business, council committee reports.
So, Alan stole my thunder. They're getting a new phone system. Next.
Planning had a couple of applications and the hearing for Lisbon Cannabis and a rear lot subdivision for John Crafts at 117 Main Street that they fielded Thursday night. That would be my report.
Nice. Planning board? Was Alan? I mean, LDC?
That's
Sorry,
me.
buddy.
Nothing new as of right now. We're still waiting after the first year to get start rocking and rolling and get things ready for spring.
This is where I was going. Conservation Committee. I knew you were coming
Yes,
up again.
I have nothing to report for conservation tonight.
Rec?
Several members on the Recreation Committee have expressed interest in becoming involved with the Moxie Committee. And the American Legion donated $500 to the Lisbon Fitness Center.
Thank you, American Legion, and awesome news on volunteers.
Yeah, absolutely.
County budget.
Nothing till August.
Okay. Library?
Nothing new to report.
Okay. Next item.
Town manager's report.
We received our workers' comp dividend in the amount of $15,610. That's in miscellaneous revenue right now. That'll help cover the increase that we just got for our experience mod going up to 1.33. And then the Rusty's Lantern is scheduled to open on Thursday. All I have.
Good stuff. That's looking nice.
Yes.
It's nice to see it done. Well, I got you here, though, Diane. Let me ask you a quick question because Lydia's not here. Still on track? Everything looking good for the January 1st date for the next module?
Not for that, no.
Okay, so
No.
well,
There's a lot more that was involved in that, and we just can't get it done, so we pushed that to April.
Okay.
So that we start after the first quarter.
Okay.
Make it easier for us.
Okay, thank you. Next item.
The department head written reports.
Everybody had a chance to look. Anybody got any questions?
I got a few questions, if not commentary.
Sure.
Economic development report. What was the conflict with Black Bear Ladder? On whose end was that? It says
About the
here
ribbon
that
cutting.
we weren't able to actually hold a town ribbon cutting because
Oh,
of
it's
conflict?
because we were on vacation.
Okay.
I was gone, Tracy was gone. When they had their
Oh,
actual
okay.
open house, that's typically when we'll do it, but we were both on vacation.
In the future, if we could just have somebody actually kick it out to council, because the fact that in these businesses associated with that, I don't care if we get somebody there. I think
Yeah.
that every opportunity to be able to do those kinds of things. I was aware of this one, and if I had known there was a need, I think we could have at least
Okay.
had a representative, is my takeaway. The other thing that I would make commentary on for some of the reports, I'd like to know stats on visits or what's occupying our staff's time to be able to know if there's a resource and what the education's going on. I'll use the example tonight of the fire chief. I'd like to know how many inspections he maybe does throughout the course of the month to make sure that if there are issues or violations that are found, that he actually can get ahead of it to not deal with something horrendous playing out on the 6 o'clock news where there was a violation in the building that we knew of. Just anything of that nature.
So, Alan, what I'm hearing you saying is not so much actually just oversight of the highlights, but actually more of the detail of what actually is happening in that department throughout that month.
Yeah, and I use him as an example because you can say the same thing of a few other departments are very light on what they're actually doing to actually occupy their time. I would also ask, we're halfway through the 6 months. Lydia, I know, is on top of a variety of different things, but if she can give us a sound bite of where we are halfway through the year for an update.
On the munis or on the
Financials.
Okay.
Financials.
She does have the financials
I saw
in
the
the packet,
financials.
but there's some journal entries that need to be, there's some
Yep.
accounts that were hit wrong and.
Well, all I'm looking
Yep.
for is to dumb it down to
Yep.
us as the average audience to be able
Yep.
to give us what we need to know for where we are, revenues or key pieces of that nature.
Yep.
Anything that, again,
Yep.
helps promote is going to help.
Yep.
The other one that I had that stood off the page, I like the carpet. I know you and I talked about it when we were down Mary Main Street. The library project looks great. I made a point of actually busting past their barricade the night Mark and I were in the building just to actually check the place out. And last thing I'd have is I had, what was 2 officers? Police. We had 2 officers just graduate from the fire academy.
The police academy, actually.
Police
Police
Academy
Academy,
on
sorry.
Friday.
That'd be
yes.
quite the trick right
Yeah,
there.
they would actually probably not take that very lightly.
Pardon me. Exactly. They should complain about life choices between the 2 of them. Officers Chandler and Kaufman graduated from the Justice Academy, so I'd like to congratulate them. Moving right along, sorry.
Next item? Anybody? Well, I should, before we jump. Anybody else have anything?
Council committee liaisons.
All right. Everybody's happy with what they're doing right now, or does anybody want to switch?
I'm good with status quo. The
Council,
only thing
hey,
what I,
Councilor Crawford's not here, so we can saddle him with a bunch of bad
so
stuff.
he gets rock, scissors, paper, shoot. He gets the water department because we do need to make good on that appointment.
All right. Councilor Crawford's been nominated for the water department, so we'll give him that post. He can always yell at us later. Anybody else? Everybody's happy with their current assignments?
We can do it.
No. If nobody objects, we'll stick with what we've been doing. Okay, so I guess that's that. Next item?
Councilor communications.
Diane?
Appointments.
If you don't mind, Mr. Chair, sorry.
Absolutely.
It made me think of it tonight when the chief was asking for the amount on the, ask for the hydraulic equipment. Yes. What do we have for other fund balance allocations now that we're 6 months through the year that are still open? If you could just give us an update, give us some
I
thought.
can do that.
The fact that it's, from my experience in Lewiston, they have a shelf life that expires at 6:30. I'd like to know they're expired or we didn't really need to allocate the funds to them. And likewise, I see in Mr. Avioli's, how are we set for winter operations?
Come on up. Come on up.
I don't like that laugh.
Steve Avioli, interim public works director. We actually had a new transfer station employee start today, who also has a dedicated plow route. So except for one employee who's still on medical leave, we basically have all plow routes covered. We're doing very well there. Salt usage is a little on the high side right now. I'm trying to get a handle on that, just due to the overall cost.
Right.
But right now, everything appears to be going very well. I know exactly. If we can keep the storms to a minimum right now, it'll help us recover from the added expense from when we had the unusual storms in November. But we're doing well right now. If the storms stay at a minimum, we should stay doing well, I should say. But I know I didn't come prepared to do an update.
No, hey, if we called on you. It's okay.
Thanks for showing up, Steve.
So I don't know if you have anything more you're looking to get out of that.
No, I just know it was a little rough in the last presentation, so be able to speak to what you know 1 month later, kind of thing.
Yes.
That was all I was doing, Steve.
Okay, yeah, we had a new public works employee start several weeks ago, with the addition of the two basically volunteering employees from the school department that are helping us out when needed, and new transfer station employee starting. He started yesterday during this storm. He came in and ran the loader on the loader route on his actual first day of work. Came in at 2 a.m. So he was a great help before he was even supposed to start.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Appreciate it, sir.
Thank you, sir. Anyone else?
Communications?
Yep.
I'd just like to wish everybody a Merry Christmas
I was
coming up
gonna say the
quickly,
same
right?
thing.
Happy New Year.
Merry Christmas
And,
to you.
And all
be
that other
safe.
good stuff.
Be safe, right?
Anyone else? All right, next item.
Audience participation for new items.
This time, anybody who is sitting in the audience wants to come up and go ahead and let us know anything regarding the new items they want to add. I'm going to take that as a no. We're going to go ahead. Next item.
We already did an executive session, so it's to adjourn.
I'll make the motion.
I will second.
All in favor?
We stand adjourned.
Thank you all.
Come back.
Well, if you want it next meeting, if you give it back to me, you always get it at the next meeting.
Right.
You put it in your purse, you
It's
don't,
gonna be
that thing in there, I mean, you,
You never find anything.
Still have
Hey.
something coming around.
love to see an updated budget on that pad that we can
Snacks.
So,